have no pity at all for any soldiers. U.S. military? Whom? I hope you get PTSD. Or you're like, oh my god, I want Camaro, no student loans. You.
Nothing is certain except death and taxes. And people on social media saying stupid about the military. Truer words were never spoken. Would you believe that this 27-year-old, yeah, that's a 27-year-old, woman, I guess, with tens of viewers, wow, dozens and singular dozen, hates US soldiers and wants them to be mentally tortured by PTSD? Some would say that's a bad take. I'm one of them. And why does she want US troops to suffer? Well, duh, 'cause imperialism, 'cause Palestine. Don't believe me? Here, have a look for yourself.
I have no pity at all for any soldiers. U.S. military? Whom? I hope you get PTSD.
And because of her statements, this chunky lady is getting a little bit of blowback. By far more people than I've ever watched her live streams. Now, do you think she learned her lesson, or do you think she doubled down? Or did she make an apology and then double down? Well, I'll give you the full spiel. But first, a word from this video's sponsor, Fume. We all have bad habits. Mine is my inability to stop making YouTube videos so that I get promoted. But don't let your bad habits control your life. Now, what if I told you that there's a more enjoyable way to help you kick some of your bad habits? Well, that's why there's Fume. Fume is an award-winning flavored air device. You draw it in through your mouth, but don't worry, there's no harmful vapor or nicotine, no toxic chemicals or batteries. Fume fills the void that sometimes stitching a bad habit can leave. It's got magnets in it. You can click it, you can twist it, you can bop it. It's a less obnoxious and far more acceptable version of a fidget spinner, especially for some of you more high-strung people. And with a plethora of choices, you can choose from any one of your favorite flavors: black licorice, spearmint ice, or cinnamon hearts. Fume has served over 300,000 customers, and you can be their next success story. For a limited time, use my code AngryCops to get yourself a free topper. Just head to the link below at tryfume.com/angrycops. It's tryfum.com/angrycops. And make sure you use code AngryCops or scan the QR code here and get yourself a free Fume topper with your order of a journey pack today. Now let's dig into this. Let's meet our rising star, Frogan. Frogan?
Thanks, Frogger.
I don't know nor care. The Gaza Gobbler herself. It's funny to say rising star because that's exactly the award that she won at the Streaming Awards, I think run by Twitch. Not 100% sure. Not 100% caring. Not my jam. Never really got into award shows. MTV in the late 90s, early 2000s when Diddy was in charge of the parties. Oh God, no. Is that when they peaked, when Diddy was in charge of the parties? But a rising star she is no longer. Oh, Icarus, flying too close to the sun. Because on one of her streams, one of which I can no longer find on the internet, probably took it down, wouldn't blame her, Frogger makes a damning statement about US military members, that she doesn't really care for them.
I have no pity at all for any soldiers.
That they deserve to get PTSD.
I hope you get PTSD.
That if you signed up to better yourself so you could maybe buy a car or help pay for student loans, that you're a piece of...
Or you're like, oh my god, I want my Camaro, no student loans. You.
Now, I understand why some people got upset. I mean, I feel a little called out because the only way I was gonna pay for college is if I joined the military. I knew in 5th and 6th grade the only way I was paying for college was joining the Army. And that was before 9/11. I'm not that old, weirdos. And what's wrong with that? What's wrong with trying to better yourself by joining the military? It's one thing that I just absolutely can't stand about anti-military morons, regardless if they're a hippo in a hijab or some scrawny, cancerous-looking high school teacher. One of the fastest ways to get out of the lower class or the lower middle class is to join the military, get some experience, learn some discipline, gain a skill, become a part of a brotherhood, and then continue forward, or just stay in the military if you're called to that. All these moronic kids that are saying you're just dying for the rich and wealthy people are probably the idiots that have had a silver spoon up their ass the entire time, having college paid for by mommy and daddy and never had to work a day in their life. Here's some skills you learn pretty quickly: how to work out, how to eat healthy, things that you chunky gal, probably need to study, which, oddly enough, is something that she studied. Those who can't teach, I guess. She says in one of her streams that it used to be on her Twitter handle that she studied something about like nutrition or like how to stop people from eating their feelings, and well, she didn't take her own advice. Looking a little too thick. And this brings me to my second point. Everyone in the military, regardless of branch, is not the gunslinging infantryman that you see in action movies. Okay? You've got refuelers, you've got pipe fitters, you've got engineers, not ones that just blow up bridges, but ones that build them. horizontal engineers that build houses, fix roads, lawyers, doctors, electricians, cooks, guys who clean up hazardous materials, and people flying or driving helicopters, trucks, and airplanes to deliver aid to people. One of the reasons why the Department of Defense has such a massive budget is because we're constantly flying people out for tornadoes, horrible world events, conflicts that you might be familiar with, and we'll talk more about that, across the world. So yes, myself and other people get a little irritated when you make blanket statements about everybody in the military's bad. Now let me continue to educate Fago over here about why other people might be upset about the things that she said. We, military members here, looking at them, right, have no say on where we go, all right? We rely on you, the American people, the public, to vote competent people into political positions, to include the President of the United States. And then, with the trust that you've given to that person to represent you, those people in our government tell us where to go and what to do. Do you think that it was every Marine infantryman's dream to pull out of Afghanistan the way that we did? Do you think that I wanted to go to Iraq twice because turns out the yellow cake uranium didn't mean and after you remove Saddam, who was a horrible piece of by the way, Iran's now just wrecking havoc over there? No! Other people told me what to do, of which we all voted on, hoping that they had the power and the brains to do the right thing, and then we were all let down, weren't we? Weren't we? Oh, but it's our fault. We're the bad man military guy. Oh, and you stepped in it. Didn't you, Fedor? Huh? Didn't you step in it when you said you hope we all get PTSD? Ooh, what a poisonous, vitriolic thing to say. 27 years old saying these things, but you've got the mind of a child. When you actually see somebody getting poisoned with PTSD, how you would wish that on nobody. How even if somebody has it slightly and works their way through it, it still creates a barrier in their life. Relationships ruined, lives ruined, addiction starts. Oh, but you wish this on somebody because they're not in control of where they go or what they do. They're just stuck in a spot, given some orders by the people that we vote into power. But I'm the bad guy. I'm the bad guy. Do you see how dumb you sound? And this entire BS conversation is in the middle of her shoveling food in her mouth, looking like she's giving some random guy outside of the screen some good head, and her being like, oh, thank you so much for the gift. By the way, these guys are trash. Oh my God. $20? I appreciate you so much, Gorglub. What kind of dystopian future do we live in where some kind of obese pig person with makeup all over her face smashed on it with a nose ring thinking that she looks like the next fresh catch of tomorrow can spew such stupidity while shoveling fast food in her mouth and saying, thank you for the $5 donation. She's getting on my nerves so much, it's like she's the Hezbollah version of the fat Rob Reiner in South Park.
I'm Rob Reiner.
Oh, but it's okay. It's all right, gang. She made an apology. She made an apology tweet, right? Couldn't make a video about it. Couldn't live stream it, send it out to the masses. No, she made a tweet. Hey, something's better than nothing. Let's read it together, shall we? The U.S. military has conducted some of the most horrific crimes against humanity in the modern era in countries such as Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, Lebanon, and Palestine. Palestine a country? Zing! Let's talk about that. Afghanistan? Afghanistan was in retaliation to 9/11. You know, the largest terrorist attack on the United States since, Pearl Harbor? And I'll be honest, that's one of the reasons why I signed up. I couldn't wait to go to Afghanistan and disperse a little bit of justice. Play some Toby Keith. Play some Toby Keith right now. And like I stated before, while I admit Iraq was a little bit of a quagmire, and because of it has allowed Iran to run absolutely wild, if we went back in time, I would set fire to Afghanistan again in a heartbeat. Which, if we're being honest, is probably gonna happen again because Osama bin Laden's son is walking in daddy's footsteps and gathering all the troops together again. Yippee!
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
Now in Syria, we were fighting ISIS, and Iraq later on too. Remember ISIS? Those guys that were putting people in cages and setting them on fire with gasoline and diesel fuel? Yeah. Do you want to be on those guys' side? You're gonna have to clarify this statement to me a little bit. It sounds like you're really for the bad guys here. And what have we done in Lebanon and Palestine except for send out a crap ton of aid? You remember the Joe Biden like floating barge thing that was a complete and utter disaster, but nonetheless still gave out a whole bunch of aid to Palestinians? We forgetting about that? When have we dropped any bombs on Palestine in the recent, but we're talking about recently, right? Since October 7th. You're helping Israel. We're also helping the Palestinians in Lebanon, and honestly, kind of tired of helping everybody out over there. Personal note, kind of wish we took care of the people in the hurricane first, you know, but hey, here we are, just trying to help out everybody because our hearts are so damn big. Oh, well, that makes us bad. I forgot. This person thinks that we're all pieces of probably hates America, lives in it, is morbidly obese because of it. Okay, whatever. My anger is directed at individuals who are currently championing these war crimes as if they liberated my people. Who are your people? Are your people ISIS? Are they Hezbollah? Somebody made a statement on a live stream a little while ago stating that maybe her cousin died in Hezbollah and she's really proud of him. Well, I would probably go against you in that, considering they're a terrorist organization that's attacked the United States, specifically Marine barracks. Okay, it's horrific and disgusting. The beginning of the clip was worded poorly, and I do apologize for that. Worded poorly? Yeah, okay, hey, you know, okay, yeah, okay. You know, we gotta take our wins so we can get them. Worded poorly, yes, okay. I go on to clarify in the clip that I do not mean all military, but specifically those with no remorse. You also said those that just joined for college and to get a car, so.
Oh my God, I want my Camaro, no student loans.
Why aren't you talking about that? That didn't seem about like the remorse part. What I said was out of frustration as they are currently bombing my family in the name of liberation. Who are they? Who's bombing? We're bombing? Who is your family? Who are you related to? Are you literally in a terrorist family? You're like, hey, all we want to do is just bring death to America and they won't let us and they're pigs. Well, yeah, we won't let you. Go yourself. I realize that wishing people harm isn't the best way to talk about these issues and that I could have talked about these topics in a more sensitive way. Oh, I appreciate that. I'm glad that you wished you could have been more sensitive. Let's see how sensitive you were when you did a reaction to that video. We talked about her original video and then her apology, but guess what? There's a spot in between where she reacted to her video and tells us how she really feels. I bet you it's in line with her apology. Let's watch, shall we?
And they posted it in my head, I'm like, base?
Base! Wow, giggling! Oh, very sensitive, laughing at this. Yes, very sensitive. Pardon me while I quote you. I'm not walking back on it. I still agree with it.
Like, I'm not walking back on it. I still can agree with it.
So much for that apology. It's almost like the apology was an afterthought. Like you did it because you knew you were so f***ed up, but you couldn't even apologize all the way. You had to make a whole bunch of excuses. Had to double down on that take. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. See how it works out. Well, it didn't work out too good because her apology, she left the comments off. But you know, it doesn't have to be the video that you made that people get upset on for people to leave comments on you. You've got a whole slew of videos and shenanigans that people leave comments on. How are they going? Ooh, not good. Ow, ouch. Funny, inappropriate, but funny. Kind of exactly how you thought it would go. Well, at least how I would. Or just a poor weather balloon covered up with a tablecloth. Now listen up, you 27-year-old woman, child, soft-brained idiot. Free speech is an amazing thing. It's fantastic. We all get to go out in this weird world and say whatever we want. But saying whatever you want in the fantastic First Amendment and right to free speech that we have doesn't mean that that free speech comes without repercussions. You see, you have your right to your own opinions. And if those opinions are overtly retarded, people who oppose your views have the right to all over you verbally. Now, while recording and writing this video, turns out that Frogan, the Brogan, got a ban from Twitch. Which, I'm gonna be honest here, kind of a free speech absolutist. Right. Now, as much as we find it irritating and horrible that she said she wishes people got PTSD, I've heard far worse things on the internet, and I don't think that she should be banned or kicked off of the platform for saying something stupid. People make mistakes. We need to learn from them and move on. I know people are gonna see this as a win. Oh, she got what's coming to her, she got banned. But even me, as one of the people that she's picking on in the military who has absolutely no remorse for doing whatever I did in Iraq, I had a great time. Which was Afghanistan, but it was so great I had to go back a second time. Because free speech is uncomfortable, and it's supposed to be uncomfortable. And as much as I disagree with this obese person's smugness and point of view on military members and what we should deal with and who she thinks the bad guys are I think she might think that the terrorists are the good guys. Either way, she should still be able to air out her grievances and ideas and have people like us discuss them with her. And sometimes those discussions are gonna turn vitriolic, but it needs to be discussed in the masses regardless of how stupid or idiotic the topic is. This ban is soft, honestly. There wasn't even a racial slur in there, even though she loves to say cracker.
Cracker isn't racist!
And is just ultra white. I don't know what privilege she's trying to hide, but she definitely be white. This butch puts mayonnaise on everything, and that's overtly obvious. So let the people tweet. Let the people call her out. Let her make her videos so then I can make videos on them. Hopefully she looks at this backlash and understands that maybe she made a boo-boo and she can learn from this. But you can lead a horse to water or a cow, but you can't make him drink. Oh, did you think that I was done? No, because it's time, yes, after a wardrobe change, to hear a word from everybody's favorite washed-up porno actress. Take it away, Mia.
Good morning to everybody who is not in the U.S. military. Good morning to everybody who is sitting at home and not on soil that doesn't belong to them, fighting a war for a country that doesn't care about them. I hope you go over there and get your little brain all scrambled up with PTSD and then come back here and see how much the United States cares about you, Pookie. See how much they care about you when you come back with, oh, I'm so sad. I piss my pants every time I see a falafel stand in Manhattan. Let's see how much the VA cares about you. Let's see what they tell you to do with your little broken brain from going over to fight a war that's not yours. They're gonna tell you to try breathing exercises because the US government does not give a fuck about you once you cannot die for them. Once you're done, once you're a shell, they don't care about you. What did I say on Z-Way that one time? Yeah, I think that still stands as very accurate.
Now, am I surprised that Mia Khalifa, Satan's pincushion, is upset and on the military? No, because Mia Khalifa is a grifter. She saw something that got a bunch of people attention and decided that she would exploit it for herself because nobody cares. You see, Mia Khalifa, after being banged out by a whole bunch of random bros and smattered across the internet, decided that she wanted to be taken seriously. Ooh, girl power. And started doing talk shows, podcasts, wanted to be a podcaster, wanted to do sports. I think she even became a part of Barstool Sports at one point, but guess what? That failed because she's not interesting. She's not fun to listen to. She's vapid and airheaded and makes horrible takes just like the one you just saw. So after doing the pornos and then trying something else and actually being sad and saying, I wish people would take down the porn. Oh, it just makes me feel bad. I wish it would go. Well, she started her OnlyFans and website up again, so she's back to sucking hog. But of course, our Mia can't stay out of the limelight for too long. So she's got to come up with another one of her hot takes on global military issues. Just because you got a good set of torpedoes doesn't mean you know anything about combat. The military, the amount of aid that we give. Oh, I thought I said that already. I'll say it again. How unoriginal can you be where she tries to think of the same thing that Frogan said, but she says it in a dumber way. The entire video is not insulting, it's just bad. Not bad as in she says bad things. It's just not even a good joke or a way of putting forth her thoughts. It's 59 seconds of brain rot. The only thing left inside that skull of hers is probably the past 50 guys' loads. And is it me or did her nose get bigger? Being a retired porn star is a lot like being the hot high school teacher after the kids left and then came back after college and got to see all the fine tail running around literally everywhere. You're not special. You did a task that anybody can do, and the only reason why you succeeded in it is because your mouth was stuffed with so much dick you couldn't talk. Honestly, I don't understand her aggression towards military guys, because I'm pretty sure the U.S. military service members are still feeding you that sweet, sweet green cash that you love so much in order to keep the lights on. Shit, if you just, I don't know, suck one soldier's dick and say, support our troops, while getting pounded out by a couple Marines, you'd be back on top. Or on bottom, or doggy style, whatever you want. This dumb doesn't even know her audience. Speaking of audience, if you looked at the comments on her Twitter post, which is where I got that video from, it's almost all bots just being like squirt, squirt, happy face emoji, eye hearts. You're so babe. When is this gonna go away?
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Can't wait to see her first stream when she returns. I'm sure it'll be positive. Sure, she'll say she's really sorry. I won't hold my breath. Best way to support the channel is get yourself a shirt. I got Angry Cops hoodies, the Whoopee hoodies. They're here, brand new, spanking. We're running out. It's only been a couple weeks that they've been up, and there aren't a lot left. I think we sold out of 70% of stock already. So get them for Christmas, and hold on to them for 2 months, and then give them to your family. Or Hanukkah. Ooh, she probably is not a fan of Hanukkah. Hezbollah? Nope. Yom Kippur? Nope, that's another Jewish holiday. Ramadan! Get it for Ramadan! Even though it's in the middle of the summer. Whatever. Cheapest way to support the channel is tell me what you think. What do you think of this dope, huh? You got any cool clips you want to share with me of her saying something else that's pretty stupid? I've seen quite a few. Do you think that military members need to take a BLM knee to her and tell her that we're sorry that we were in Afghanistan? Or in Syria? Fucking up ISIS? I can't wait to read the comments. Okay. See you next time, weirdos. Mia Khalifa. Well, this Mia could eat ya. Looking like Jabba the Hutt. More like Jabba the Slut. More like Pizza the Hutt. Nobody's gonna stuff her crust. This broad probably salivates every time she hears sloppy seconds because she's thinking of leftovers. Looking like you're eating from a trough. Not very halal. America. The only place where you can find fat communists.